guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Warriorstrade and the Sacramento Kings regarding a potential Jonathan Kuminga sign and trade have officially resumed. According to Sam Amick of The Athletic, both teams got back on the phone earlier this week to revisit the idea of a deal. And while insiders say there wasn't massive progress or a breakthrough agreement, the simple fact that both sides re-engaged tells us something huge. Sacramento has not closed the door on their pursuit of Kuminga. Think about that for a second. We're talking about two Pacific Division rivals, two teams that have faced each other in the postseason recently, sitting down and exploring the possibility of swapping major talent. The Kings were already considered the most serious suitor for Kuminga earlier in the OS. They even put a bold offer on the table, a 3-year, $63 million contract for Kuminga. And in exchange, Golden State would receive a package centered around Malik Monk plus a lottery-protected 2030 first-round pick. Now, if you're a Warriors fan, that's a tricky proposal to evaluate. Malik Monk is talented. No doubt. He's one of the league's most dynamic bench scorers, capable of catching fire and putting up 20 points in a blink. But as AMC explains, the Warriors front office wasn't exactly thrilled with Monk's fit on their roster. For one, he's more of a sixth-man style player than someone who fits seamlessly next to Stephen Curry. And then there's his contract. Monk has a $21.60 $6 million player option for the 2027-28 season, which could become a headache for Golden State from a salary cap perspective. Remember, their Warriors are already one of the most expensive teams in the NBA, constantly battling luxury tax concerns. Adding Monk's deal could make it even harder to build around Curry, Draymond Green, and potentially another star in the future. According to reports, Golden State would likely look to flip Monk to another team immediately if they acquired him. But here's the problem. There's no guarantee they'd even be able to find a suitor willing to take him in the current market. That uncertainty makes the whole idea a lot less attractive. And that's just one layer of complication. Another big sticking point revolves around the league's salary cap rules. If Golden State traded Kuminga straight up for Monk, they would actually trigger what's called the first tax apron hard cap because of something known as base year compensation rules. In plain English, that would mean the Warriors lose flexibility to make other moves. It could prevent them from using tools like the taxpayer mid-level exception, which they were eyeing to potentially sign veteran big man Al Horford. To avoid that hard cap restriction, Golden State would need to get creative. Perhaps sending Buddy Hield or Moses Moody to a third team as part of a bigger deal. But here's the thing. Earlier reporting already made it clear that Golden State wasn't interested in going down that complicated three-team path. And AMC suggests that stance has only hardened recently. In other words, the Warriors don't want to jump through hoops just to make this deal work. And then we get to the draft pick piece. Sacramento's offer includes a 2030 first-round pick, but it comes with protections. If that pick lands in the lottery, Golden State wouldn't get it right away. Instead, they'd receive the least favorable of the Kings or Spurs' 2031 first-rounders. From the Warriors' perspective, that's just not good enough. If they're going to part with a 22-year-old forward who is still loaded with upside, they want draft assets that are far more valuable. They'd likely want Sacramento to either lighten those protections or make the pick more favorable. So far, the Kings have been hesitant to do that. So, here we are. Sacramento still wants Kuminga. Their Warriors are still listening, but neither side has gotten close to saying yes. That raises the question, what happens next? Well, in the middle of all this trade drama, there's another layer. The contract negotiations between the Warriors and Kuminga himself. Reports say Golden State has made multiple new offers to the young forward in recent weeks. One of those offers was a 3-year, $75 million deal that included a team option in the third year. That sounds pretty strong on paper, but here's the catch. Kuminga's camp, led by his agent Aaron Turner, is not happy with that team option. Turner has made it clear that the team option is a major sticking point. Why? Because a team option essentially gives the Warriors all the power after year 2. If Kuminga is thriving, Golden State can keep him at a set price for year 3. If he struggles or gets hurt, they can walk away with no obligation. From the player's side, that's risky and limits long-term security. Turner has even floated a different path, taking the $8 million qualifying offer. Now, if Kuminga chooses that qualifying offer, it would be a bold move. It would give him a 1-year deal with Golden State at just $8 million. But here's the kicker. It comes with a no-trade clause and sets him up to hit unrestricted free agency in 2026. That would give him total freedom in 2 years, and it would also make it much harder for the Warriors to trade him in the meantime. Turner went on record with ESPN's Shams Charania this week saying that the qualifying offer is absolutely a viable option for Kuminga and his camp. So essentially we're staring at a standoff. On one side, the Warriors want to keep Kuminga, but only on their terms, team-friendly deals that give them flexibility. On the other side, Kuminga and his reps want security, control, and a clear path to eventual free agency. And meanwhile, lurking in the background, the Sacramento Kings are saying, hey, if things don't work out, we're still here. The timeline makes all of this even juicier. Kuminga has until October 1st to decide whether he's going to sign that qualifying offer. That means we are just days away from a resolution one way or another. Either Golden State and Kuminga hammer out an agreement, or he takes the qualifying offer and sets up a dramatic 2-year countdown to free agency, or the Warriors finally bite the bullet and trade him. If they trade him, they risk watching him blossom into a star somewhere else, maybe even in Sacramento, just down the road, where he could torment the Warriors for the next decade. If they keep him, they have to believe that he's ready to make the leap and become a cornerstone. If they play hardball with contracts and lose him in free agency, that would be a nightmare scenario. So, as we stand today, this is one of the most fascinating storylines in the NBA. A tug-of-war between rival franchises. A young star in the making, caught between wanting security and wanting freedom. A front office juggling cap rules, roster balance, and future flexibility. And a fan base, Warriors Nation, waiting anxiously to see what happens next. One thing is clear, the next week is going to be huge. October 1st is right around the corner. Expect more phone calls between Golden State and Sacramento. Expect more back and forth between Kuminga's reps and the Warriors. And expect the NBA world to watch every single update like hawks, because whatever happens here could shift the balance of power in the Western Conference for years to come.